Top 10 College Football Recruiting Classes for 2026. Latest 247Sports Shakeup. A landscape of college football recruiting has taken a significant turn as a new leader has emerged in the rankings for the class of 2026. Following a recent update to the widely recognized 247Sports Composite rankings, Georgia has claimed the top spot, surpassing USC. This shift sets the stage for an intense competition as teams vie for the best recruits leading up to National Signing Day in December, where the final class rankings will be determined. July has proven to be a pivotal month for the elite recruiters in college football. In the Southeastern Conference (SEC), the Georgia Bulldogs have made impressive strides by securing commitments from 4-star recruits. Meanwhile, Alabama has bolstered its roster with 2 5-star athletes, positioning itself as the national leader with a total of 5 5-star recruits, according to the 247Sports Composite rankings. In the Big Ten Conference, Ohio State is aiming for its 7th consecutive finish in the top 5, while USC is looking to break into the top ranks for the first time since 2018. Over in the Atlantic Coast Conference, ACC, Miami is on track to secure the highest-ranked recruiting class in the conference for the 4th year in a row. Stay updated with the latest insights and developments regarding your favorite college football team and their recruiting efforts. As we approach August, let's take a closer look at the top 10 recruiting classes according to the 247Sports Composite rankings. For those interested in diving deeper into this topic and accessing more detailed articles, consider subscribing now for just $1 for the first month. This special offer grants you access to comprehensive coverage from the 247 Sports Network. Are you already a subscriber? Simply log in to continue enjoying our content. Georgia Bulldogs top the college football recruiting rankings, new number 1. A new era in college football recruiting rankings. The landscape of college football recruiting has recently witnessed a significant shift, with the Georgia Bulldogs now claiming the top spot. For several weeks, Georgia has been recognized as the leading recruiting class within the Southeastern Conference (SEC), and following the latest update in recruiting rankings, they have ascended to the pinnacle nationally. This marks a notable achievement as Georgia has overtaken the USC Trojans, who had maintained the top recruiting class in the country for an extended period. While the Big Ten Conference boasts 3 of the top 10 recruiting classes in the nation, the SEC stands out with 5 teams in the top 10, including 4 that are ranked within the top 6. However, it is essential to remember that we are still in the early stages of the recruiting process for the class of 2026. The early signing period is set to commence in December, and it is crucial for these recruiting powerhouses to demonstrate their prowess on the field this fall to secure their coveted positions. Despite Georgia's current top ranking, it is important to note that they are not guaranteed to finish the recruiting cycle in the same position. The Bulldogs have accumulated more commitments than any other team in the top 10, aside from USC. However, their average commitment ranking is lower than that of LSU, Alabama, or Oregon, which raises questions about their long-term standing. In contrast, the LSU Tigers have secured 16 commitments and boast the highest average commitment score of 93.67 among the top 10 recruiting teams according to 247 Sports. Current rankings for the class of 2026. 1. Georgia Bulldogs, 30 commitments. 2. USC Trojans, 31 commitments. 3. Texas A&M Aggies, 23 commitments. 4. Alabama Crimson Tide, 21 commitments. 5. Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 26 commitments. 6. Texas Longhorns, 26 commitments. 7. Ohio State Buckeyes, 21 commitments. 8. LSU Tigers, 16 commitments. 9. Michigan Wolverines, 21 commitments. 10. Miami Hurricanes, 22 commitments. All rankings are sourced from 247 Sports and reflect the status as of July 27, What does this mean for the future? As we look ahead, the competition for top recruits is only going to intensify. Will Georgia maintain its lead, or will another powerhouse emerge as the season progresses? This is the part that many fans overlook, how crucial the upcoming season is for shaping the future of these programs. Join the conversation. What are your thoughts on Georgia's rise to the top? Do you believe they can hold on to their position? Or do you think another team will take the lead? Share your opinions in the comments below. Georgia Bulldogs football. #1 recruiting class, SEC expansion rumors. Here's something that will shock college football fans. Georgia just pulled off what many thought was impossible this late in the recruiting game. While everyone was focused on the drama surrounding potential SEC expansion, the Bulldogs quietly executed a masterclass move that has completely reshuffled the 2026 recruiting landscape. But here's where it gets controversial. Some experts are questioning whether this surge is sustainable or just another flash in the pan. 247Sports, the gold standard for recruiting analysis, drops their latest rankings update, and the results sent shockwaves through the college football community. Georgia has officially leapfrogged USC to claim the coveted #1 spot in the country for their 2026 recruiting class. This back-and-forth battle between these two powerhouse programs has been nothing short of epic, resembling a heavyweight boxing match where both fighters keep trading devastating blows. But here's the thing that makes this even more intriguing. USC is breathing down Georgia's neck by the slimmest of margins. We're talking about a gap so narrow that a single 5-star commitment could flip the script entirely. This creates an absolutely electric atmosphere where every recruiting decision becomes a potential game changer. Having the top class means nothing if you can't address your biggest weaknesses, and Georgia has a glaring hole that needs immediate attention: offensive tackle depth. Currently, the Bulldogs have secured just one offensive tackle commitment for their 2026 class. In today's college football landscape, where protecting your quarterback is literally the difference between championship glory and devastating defeat, this simply isn't enough. Georgia's coaching staff knows this, and they're making some bold moves that have their rivals sweating. Enter Tyler Chukwuem, a top 100 offensive tackle who's currently pledged to Florida. Yes, that Florida, one of Georgia's biggest SEC rivals. The Bulldogs are reportedly making a serious play to flip this talented lineman. But here's where the controversy begins. Georgia hasn't even offered Chukwuem an official scholarship yet. Some recruiting analysts are calling this a classic case of too little, too late. When you're trying to steal a player from a conference rival this deep into the process, you're essentially asking them to break up with their current commitment and trust you instead. It's a high-stakes gamble that could either showcase Georgia's recruiting prowess or highlight their planning shortcomings. However, early reports suggest Chukwuem is at least willing to hear what Georgia has to say, which means this recruiting battle is far from over. The question that has everyone divided: is Georgia's late entry into this race a sign of confidence or desperation? SEC expansion rumors that could threaten Georgia's empire. Just when you thought the college football landscape couldn't get any more chaotic, Thursday delivered another bombshell that has Georgia fans either excited or terrified, depending on how you look at it. Rumors are swirling that two prestigious ACC programs, Clemson and North Carolina, are exploring the possibility of jumping ship to join the SEC. Now, for those unfamiliar with conference realignment, imagine if your favorite local restaurant suddenly had to compete with two new world-class establishments moving in next door. That's essentially what Georgia could be facing. Let's be honest about what this means. North Carolina, while a respectable program, probably wouldn't lose much sleep for Georgia's coaching staff. The Tar Heels have had their moments, but they're not exactly keeping Nick Saban up at night with worry. Clemson, however, is a completely different animal. We're talking about a program that has been one of the most dominant forces in college football over the past 15 years. They've won multiple national championships, consistently recruited at an elite level, and have a coaching staff that knows how to develop talent. Adding Clemson to the SEC would be like throwing a lit match into an already explosive situation. But here's where it gets really controversial. Would Clemson joining the SEC actually hurt Georgia? Or would it elevate the entire conference to new heights? Some argue that more elite competition would only make Georgia stronger, while others worry it would dilute recruiting territories and create additional obstacles to championship success. The reality check nobody wants to discuss. While it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of recruiting rankings and expansion rumors, there's an uncomfortable truth that many Georgia fans aren't ready to face. Sustained success in college football is incredibly difficult to maintain, regardless of how many five-star recruits you sign. History is littered with programs that dominated recruiting cycles, only to underperform on the field when it mattered most. The real question isn't whether Georgia can sign the best recruiting class. It's whether they can consistently develop that talent into championship-caliber players. And this brings us to perhaps the most thought-provoking question of all. In an era where the transfer portal allows players to change schools almost as easily as changing their socks, do traditional recruiting rankings even matter as much as they used to? What do you think? So here's what I want to know from you. Do you believe Georgia's late pursuit of Tyler Chukayem shows confidence or poor planning? Are you excited about the possibility of Clemson joining the SEC? Or would you prefer to keep them as far away as possible? And most importantly, do you think recruiting rankings in July actually predict success in January, when the championship games are played? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't hold back. Whether you're a die-hard Georgia fan, a bitter rival supporter, or just someone who loves college football drama, I want to hear your take on whether these moves will make or break the Bulldogs' championship aspirations.